What a day, man. What a morning it's been already. Recording 2 podcasts in one day. Lots of stuff to cover today. Lots of fun.
Where are we going with this?
We're going to go somewhere with it, man. We're just going to jump right into it, man, and just start banging it out.
I feel like this has been a crazy week, actually.
It's been a wild week. You know, it's the 101st day of the year today.
But did you hear, were you in town when they had the whole fire thing that was breaking out here in Onslow County?
Well, I was here and I saw the smoke and stuff, but where were the fires?
Yeah,
at?
so actually it was a half mile from my house.
What was burning?
So
The woods, the forest? Like,
no,
was that
so
dry?
it was a
The man-made
controlled
fire?
burn
Controlled burn.
from Camp Lejeune.
Gotcha.
Probably shouldn't have said it out loud, but I know
It's okay.
that the fire actually got too far out of control and it started to spread.
So it was a controlled burn that became out of control.
Yeah, I thought we were about to turn into California real quick. And then all of a sudden I saw
scary,
people
dude.
commenting on Facebook and they're like,
Really scary.
spray your roof down, spray your roof down.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of like what we're going to talk about today, right? How you could have all this control and then all of a sudden you could be very out of control with stuff. Like you got to.
Yeah, I guess in so many words, that's kind of what it covers.
You have to keep those flames contained. Contain the flames in your life, right? Like,
By contained, he means boundaries.
yes.
So,
See, a great segue, right?
Yeah.
Not bad for coming off of the first recording.
welcome to the Real Estate Playground, where we cover everything in the realm of real estate with no fluff and no BS. I'm Todd Erickson.
And I'm Ray Evans. Bringing over 28 years of experience combined, we've seen the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
Join us as we take you for a ride through the real estate playground that's full of laughs, knowledge, and perhaps a few unexpected surprises.
So whether you're a realtor, home buyer, seller, investor, or just here for the hilarious stories, we've got something for everyone. Let's get into it.
So actually, we are covering episode 10. This is episode 10, y'all.
Oh my gosh, double digits.
Finally,
We did it.
we finally made it.
We finally did it.
Yep.
10 episodes.
So this episode, we're actually going to be covering boundaries and balance, mastering work-life harmony in real estate. And I think this is actually super crucial to all realtors, anybody within the real estate industry, being able to set those boundaries, not just for yourself, but also with your client relationships that you have as well.
It's a continuous battle or a continuous challenge in a real estate career because it is such a demanding field.
It is.
Well, not a field. It's a demanding position. It's a demanding job, and it can really wear you out. You could get burnout. I mean, I've seen agents just burn out, like, you know, and I mean, it's just real estate can be all consuming at times if you're not careful.
It's happened to me a couple times. I think I packed too much on my plate.
Yeah,
And
it
then
happens.
before I know it, and you know, and I wanted to bring this up too, and I probably will get a little passionate about it because for the longest time, I am the most guilty for not setting those healthy boundaries with myself in the workplace, but also in my personal life. I tend to be more of a people pleaser. So when
Right.
somebody asks me something, I feel like I need to accommodate them by getting
Right.
that done.
Right.
But I feel like when you do that, it does cause burnout because nobody else is seeing what's going on behind the layers of how it's wearing you down and you're
Sure,
losing energy
sure.
because you're too busy with everything else. And so I feel like I also have to change that in myself. And I actually have to owe credit to that to another agent in the firm. They pointed out to me, not you, Ray. I'm so sorry about that.
I thought he was talking about me, y'all.
But they actually told me, like, Todd, it's okay to say no. It's
Yep.
okay to
Yes.
tell them you
Yes.
cannot do this.
Yes.
And so I wanted to come today and bring this in because
Great.
I want to make sure other agents are also aware to make sure that you are setting healthy boundaries for yourself, making sure that you are giving yourself time and credit and
Right.
take a vacation.
Right. Take a vacation.
It's okay to do that.
Take the trip, man. Take the trip. Schedule it. When you get back, schedule a new one.
Have you scheduled another trip?
I haven't officially scheduled it. I'm in the air about 2 trips actually in May.
Where are you going?
Well, there's a possibility I may be going to celebrate a really good friend of mine's 50th birthday.
There you go.
And it's a friend. It's actually the dude I did my very first deal with in real estate.
Nice.
We sold a manufactured home off of Gum Ranch Road on Brothers Lane.
Brothers Lane?
It's called Brothers Lane, yeah.
Okay.
It's near the Homestead subdivision. It's a little, you turn right there. You hang
Oh, I know
left,
exactly what you're talking about.
And it was really cool because the dude and I became like friends, and we always joked that we sold Brothers Lane and we became brothers. He is
Brothers
my-
for life.
He's my brother, man. Like he's part-time real estate. And we used to we used to do some stuff when we met. When I first got into real estate, I was working part-time in the Marine Corps still. Mm-hmm. So all the money I was making in real estate was like extra dough. So I would get these closings and then pop in, pick up a couple checks, $8,000 straight out of town.
Yeah, but honestly,
nice.
And there's a lot of people that do that too. You're not the only one. They still do that to this day.
Yeah.
We've got a couple that work here. They're still active duty military, still working part-time. Yeah. I'm sure there's other people around the world as well that are doing it. So
yeah, it's really cool being here today with you, Todd.
You say that every time.
I know, man. It's just a pleasure. It's like, I really look forward to this. It's a lot of hard work, and it's rewarding right now.
Well, and I think it's the one time that we can actually sit down, woosah, it's almost kind of like it is like, I was about to say, it's like a therapy session. You could take your entire week and just kind of put it all out on the table and just kind of talk about it.
It was an interesting sound effect that you just did. Can you do that again?
I don't remember how I did it.
Let's try to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. It's, the first thing that we were going to talk about today was setting some boundaries, like client to client communication.
That is a huge one that I would love to express, because that's always been my problem. I think when you first come into real estate, it's expected. You want to build that brand. You're building up your repertoire, your sphere of influence. So, of course, you're going to tell everybody, you can contact me anytime. I'll drive wherever I need to go to get that sell.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think realistically, those things tend to change the longer that you're in. You start noticing
for sure
the boundaries that you want to set for yourself. And so I think when you tell a client, you can contact me 24/7, ultimately, I think your clients are going to get real pissed off at you, because we know that we cannot all be contacted 24/7.
No, 24/7 is an unrealistic expectation.
It is
from anybody.
But I think I also said that when I first got started. I was like, I'll be available anytime you need me. Go ahead, just reach out. But ultimately, I go to bed at 11, 12.
Yep.
I usually put my phone on sleep mode because I need that time for myself.
Yeah, you got to get away from it.
Yeah, and then be able to wake up.
You have to be recharged. You have to be recharged, ready to roll. Start every day at zero. I actually learned a little bit of this as I started my real estate career. I was in coaching. I believe in coaching. A big shout out to Mike Ferry, actually.
I like Mike Ferry.
I got introduced at an event down in Wilmington, and I got introduced to Mike Ferry. And when I first got it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I enrolled in a coaching program, $1,000 a month. And
Jesus.
Yeah. And believe me, though, I made that money back 100-fold.
But look, you got to spend money to make money.
That's a fact. And I didn't have money then. It was
none of us did.
It was a big risk, and they wanted you to do, I think it was a 12-month commitment.
Wow,
it's $1,000. But the reason that they do that is not because it's not good. It's because they want you committed to the program.
I mean, that's fair, because if you're going to spend money, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that spend money on those coaching programs and then don't do it. That is a waste of money. If you're not going to commit, you need to do it. But they taught me how to kind of set up some expectations for my clients. And, part of all of my presentations, my buyer and seller presentations was, hey, I'm your guy. I'm available for you. Anytime you need me, you're welcome to call me. Now, if you call me after 7 p.m., all right, if I am available, I will return your call. However, if it's after 7 p.m., you may not hear from me until the next business day, which I think is reasonable.
I think that's healthy.
And what's really cool is if you establish that, most people will respect that. Now, guys, if there is an emergency, fire, flood, blood, mud, everything, then, call me, text me, send me a smoke signal. That's what I used to tell people. Call me, text me, send me a smoke signal. No pun to the fires that we were just talking about. But I think people kind of respected that. But if you set the expectation, you have to follow through with it as well.
Well, look, and I think I said it in one of my other episodes too, when I told you that when I go under contract or I'm doing anything with clients, I typically say, congratulations, now you're married. Just like any other marriage too, you've got boundaries that are set. But I also think too, if you set the tone.
I've had trouble with that in my life.
But if you set the tone in your consultation with your clients, and if you're not having consultations with your clients, even buyers, I feel like you're wrong. You should be setting
definitely wrong.
That consultation, sitting down, let them get to know you. You get to know them.
Reviewing your buyer agency agreement with them.
Right. But at the same time, set that tone within your relationship with them that this is what you can expect out of me. This is what I'm going to give to you. Also know that I have a family. We have family nights on Sundays. So please, I'd like to have Sundays to myself, or we all sit down and we have a family dinner at 7:30. So if you don't get anything,
where do you guys do that family dinner at 7:30?
Oh, I didn't say me specific. Okay. I'm just saying.
I just like to eat.
Yeah, but you have a lot of family realtors that are out there.
Yeah,
they've got
4 kids, 2 grandkids,
3, 4, 5 kids,
2, 3 ex-wives.
But at the same time, I feel like I always had that problem because I don't have children, that I typically made myself available as much as I possibly could to accommodate them.
That's okay too. That's customer service.
But it still takes away from my marriage, or it takes away from the opportunity of me being able to take a vacation. Because my mindset has always been, from when I got into real estate, probably until about my 6th year, I always would feel guilty that if I didn't make myself available and a house popped up on the market that they wanted, would I be at fault that they lost their chance of getting that house?
And that's a very real possibility.
But you know what I mean? Like
but that's why you have backup. That's why you have, you're part of an amazing real estate team. You probably have people that would be willing to go show the house for you and wouldn't want 35%.
But not everybody is on a team. So that's the only problem. Right. Or if you work for a very small boutique firm, they may be very limited on who they can have to go out there and accommodate that.
Yeah. Well, get out of that boutique farm and join.
Did you say farm?
Farm.
Franchise firms are like farms. You got a bunch of people.
And a lot of people think you're at a franchise, you're at a big company, and
yeah, that's not necessarily true.
What's a big company? Like at the end of the day, a big company is, some people think a big company is 25 agents or 47 agents, 49 agents.
I mean, I know our firm, Remax, being one of the top #1 trusted realtors in the world. I love
most trusted brand in all of real estate.
There you go. But getting back on track, that's the biggest thing. I think for communication with your clients is setting that tone within your relationship with them. When you sit down and have that consultation, let them know what your expectations are of them, what their expectations are of you. And then that way your transactions can run a lot smoother if they already know, hey, I'm not even going to bother him tonight because I know that he's with his family after 8 p.m. I'll hit him up tomorrow morning.
That's right. And a lot of times it has to do market related conditions too, right? When the market was just banging out, like you had to do that.
God, COVID, I felt like you had to work 24/7. You didn't have a choice.
It just felt so, it was out of control.
It was
out of control. But that kind of leads you into the next point, right? Which all of these points that we have on our outline for the show today, they're all interrelated.
Yeah.
It's client communication, work-life balance, managing client expectations, establishing clear goals, being able to say no, and having a personal life, and self-care and stress management, which really should be at the top of the list. It should be at the top of the list. I know these aren't any priority, but if we were to sit and prioritize these, for me, that would be one of the top items.
Which one?
The self-care and stress management.
Then let's talk about that one right now then.
Self-care is so important, man. It's really important. I mean, what are some of your self-care routines?
So I will say one of the biggest things that I always talk about when I'm here is I call them brain breaks. Because if you're busy and you're working, you're prospecting, you're sending out emails, you're writing up those cards, those thank you cards, things like that. At some point in time, the migraines come in, the overhead lights are glaring, and I feel like I need that brain break. Right. So I like to go banter, laugh, and joke a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Go and have lunch with my team in the main lunch area because it just kind
of really cool spot at the office.
But it just kind of like separates yourself just enough from work to where you can say, okay, I'm good, recouped. Let's go back in.
That's right.
Let's keep going.
That's right. Little power hour, and then come out and relax. I mean, that's all Mike Ferry stuff too. Is like you work. I would prospect 3 hours a day, and then I'd prospect for 1 hour. I'd go take a walk, 10 minutes, shoot an email, say hello to some people, get right.
I just feel like it's like a really quick refresh. And then on top of that, what if you're in a really stressful situation, you've got chaos going on, and one of your transactions, things are falling apart. You need that time to just kind of go vent somewhere, scream, go talk to somebody else that may have a different outlook or another positive thing that you could do that may be able to switch it all around and turn it into something else.
No, that's the key. And I think for me, self-care really starts with physical fitness.
That does, which I started picking up this year.
Yeah, actually. You're doing great with it too. I love seeing you in the gym. I love gymming beside you. I love and look, the relationships that you build in the gym. Those are some of the most supportive people. A lot of people won't go to the gym because they think people judge you.
We actually fight over the same elliptical.
That's my elliptical. It's been mine for 2 years. I'm gonna put my name on it. I'm gonna put a little tag on it, see if you see it next time.
I think I told myself actually, which is really funny. I'm gonna give a little shout out to Onslow Fitness, Brandy and Eddie Goins, the owners over there. They're amazing.
We should have them on the show sometime.
We could.
A health and fitness episode. It's health and fitness and real estate. I thought about it today while I was riding the bike.
Well, and that's what I was gonna bring up. So I always told myself I'm not gonna do spin class. I am too big, too heavy to be sitting on that little tiny ass seat, and so I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. But I will be honest, Brandy is an awesome coach. She's in there. She's pushing it. She's crushing it. I think I've taken it 3 times now. And
all she does is fucking yell at people at the top of her lungs. Get that moving! She put me in the hospital.
I love that, though. I love someone
going to the hospital.
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about someone who is going to
it's motivation,
basically
man.
Drill you down, make you work for it, because Rome was not built in a day. You're not going to get there to tomorrow.
If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your clients.
I agree, 100%.
And it's hard to take care of yourself in this business.
Yes.
It's hard to take care of yourself in this business too, because you're always trying to take care of so many other people. But what I have learned is if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of other people properly.
I would say that would be my biggest problem that I had, and that's why I think I gained
challenge.
Let's
replace that word, challenge.
The biggest challenge for myself, because I put myself on the back burner and I put all of my clients on the pedestal, and I was always running and jumping, eating fast food on the go. And so I let myself go in that time frame, and you don't think about it until it's at that point where you're just like, God, I'm just not happy with that. And so
I almost died.
You just look, I'll be honest, I don't like putting it out there for everybody, but I mean, I did run into some liver conditions based off of my health, and it wasn't due to alcohol or anything of that nature. It scared the crap out of me, and it scared me enough to where I felt like I finally needed to get my life back where it needed to be.
It actually took me a couple of years to really get right with it, but I went to a dentist appointment, and they take your blood pressure.
Right.
And my blood pressure was through the roof, and they made me leave the dentist's office and go straight to the doctor.
Wow. Where
I discovered I had like super high blood pressure, but I was overweight. I was eating bad. I was stressed.
How's it now?
It's the blood pressure under control. I'm still on the medication, but through the training and the stuff I've been doing for the last 2 years, we got it under control.
Yeah. These people don't know we are hurting ourselves over here.
We're trying to die for you. Like, we will die for you if we have to. We will die for you. But I just think it's but then there's a really fine line too, because you could be so into self-care and self-love and taking care of yourself so much. Then there's like that. This is all about the work-life balance, right? This is about balance. Everything's about balance.
Yeah.
It's the yin and the yang, right? Like they were onto something. I don't prescribe to those theories and some of that stuff, but there's a such thing as yin and yang, right? But for me, you just have to be careful not to be so selfish and self-centered.
I did put it out there to my clients now that this is the boundary that I am putting out there, is I'll tell them, look, just letting you know now, I do have personal training and gym time that I try to put into every day for the most part, because I need to make sure that I'm bettering myself at the same time. Majority of them respect that, but I think I was so scared to say it before that I would just let it go.
We teach a really great class here. But one of my roles at the company that I'm in, that I operate, is a trainer and sales coach and training and stuff like that, and education. And one of the classes that I teach, and I teach it over and over again, 1 to 2 times a year, is called activities management. There's a lot of things, everybody wants to be a time manager, right? And I just don't believe in that. There is no way to manage time.
Right.
Time is going to continue. Me and you can sit here and look at each other like we're doing now. And time is going to go by. I cannot manage that. It is impossible.
We're already 20 minutes in.
Oh my gosh, this was like supposed to be a 20-minute podcast. But it's activities management. So it's the time that you have in the day to balance your life and to do the stuff you got to do. You got to calendar it. You got to schedule it. You got to live your life by a schedule. And a lot of people are like, well, I got into real estate to make my own schedule. Well, guess what? You got to put things into that calendar that help you produce, help you prospect, help you get new clients. But then you also have to put things in your calendar for your family and for your loved ones, and most of all for yourself.
Well, and I think that actually leads into one of the other topics, which would be your personal life, setting boundaries in there as well. And
I've been having some trouble with that lately.
Look, same. And I'll be honest, that's a big reason why I'm an office person. I need to come into the office if I'm going to do work, because if you put me at home, I've got a million other things that I have to do.
There's so many distractions there.
There are.
If you're going to work from home, you have to have like a podcast room or an office that is really work related, but here's the deal.
Yeah, you need like a work zone or a no work zone.
And I know there's going to be some people out there that argue with me, and that's okay. You have your own opinion. You're entitled to it. But my experience for 20 years of real estate is that the people that show up at the office are the people that achieve the most work-life balance and have the highest incomes are the people that show up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like I showed up this morning of good sound mind. Were you nervous when you got the phone call from me? I called Todd about 8:30 this morning.
You've been burnt out.
I've been a little burnt out. I think that's the word. That's actually the more appropriate word. I haven't been like buzzing and fucking stuff flowing off of me, but but I have been tired, man. Like this is a tiring business, man. Sometimes I do feel the burnout. I have been feeling some of that. So when I called Todd this morning at 8:30, I was like, hey man, I'm of good sound in mind this morning. So were you nervous when you got the call?
I thought you were going to back out on me today.
Did you really? You think that little of me?
No, I don't think it was that. I just know
this is a new relationship, though. This is a budding relationship that we have here on the show, and it's a budding relationship. And I thought it was important that I called you this morning and tell you that.
Well, I know we are still in April, which is
Infancy
right after
stage.
the first quarter. It's still the busiest time of the year right now.
Which we're having a tremendous quarter.
We are. But I know that with how busy we are, other things come up, things of higher priority come up. And obviously, you know, this is a set thing that we do. So I want to make sure that we're still bringing these episodes to our audience.
Huge priority, commitment to you, commitment to the real estate playground. And most of all, commitment to all of our viewers and listeners. We want to show up for you guys. Just like I'm saying, hey, show up at the office with this work-life balance stuff. We're going to show up.
Look, it's so funny that you say this, and we're covering boundaries right now.
Boundaries.
And making sure that you're setting those boundaries. So
Yes.
lock it in. We film every Friday, air every Monday.
Can we get a little break on that next Friday?
Oh my gosh.
There's this huge golf tournament down in South Carolina that I really want to go to.
All right, let's get back to personal life boundaries.
Yes. Personal life boundaries.
Yeah.
Personal life. What is that?
Look,
I'm just kidding.
I got a personal life.
Same, man. Same.
Speaking of personal life, today is my mother's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Mom.
Your
Rena.
Rena. You got to give me a second. I knew it started with an R. Happy birthday, Rena. Should we sing happy birthday to Rena?
Nope, already did it this morning, but
Did you call your mom and sing happy birthday?
I did.
And my mom calls me every birthday and sings happy birthday to me.
Mine does too. But I'm going to take her out tomorrow. We're going to stay in New Bern all day. We're going to spend the day together. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
So.
Dude, every time you talk about your mom, your light shines.
She loves you, actually. She
Really?
says she listens to the podcast.
I love her too. Rena, when do I get to meet you, girl?
She's like, I love Ray. He's so funny.
She thinks I'm funny?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's cool. Most people either love me or hate me, and that's okay.
It's a bittersweet life. That's everybody. I say the same thing for myself because this is what you get.
People misunderstand me too. I had a roommate in the Marine Corps, and he was Native American, and so he was into like astrology and stuff. I don't know if that has anything to do with being Native American or not, but he was into astrology, and every now and again he'd be like, "You fucking." Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would have watched it. I got an audience. I don't want to turn off some people, but he'd be like, "Man, damn Capricorns," and he's like, "You damn people born on the cusp."
You brought in zodiac signs.
Yeah, man. He was like, anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. Boundaries, bro. Boundaries. Watch your mouth, Ray.
You know what's another big boundary too, and this actually
that effort out for me.
takes it kind of out of the personal life area, but I didn't touch on it earlier. Was locational boundaries. I feel like
huge way to keep us on course. That's really important. Dude.
But you know, when I bring that up, it's kind of like being that new realtor. You're willing to drive anywhere to get that listing or to show that house. And I feel like as you go on in time, like I'll be honest, if someone were to hit me up today and they were to say, you know, I want to see a house out in Beaufort or the Outer Banks. For me now, I would probably say I'd much rather refer that to someone that is more competent in that area.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because you're a consummate professional.
But at the same time, say we go under contract out there, okay? Now, all of a sudden, we're going out there again for inspections. Something happens to the property. I've got to go out there again.
Yep.
You're constantly going out there, and that's over 3-4 hour drive. It's just not worth the time for me to do that when I can give you to someone in that area that specializes in that area, and we can just get a referral for it.
Here's the challenge with that too. You know, there was a time, I'm going to be an old head here for a minute, but there was a time where we really didn't have access to all that data and all those listings until then when we went to this North Carolina regional MLS, which is awesome. And it gives us more information and it allows people to expand their business. You can be as big as you want to be in 2025.
Right.
But there was a time when you wouldn't even have access to that data. You would almost have to refer it. But now I think some agents, because that data is at their fingertips, I think they forget just how hyper local real estate really is.
Yeah.
And, again, it's hyper local and then it's not hyper local because of the amount of information that's available to us. But some people don't know where to find certain information. And there's just little nuances of different areas. So that boundary thing is really crazy.
I mean, I do love that being licensed in North Carolina allows me to be able to sell anywhere in North
Absolutely.
Carolina.
Absolutely.
However, I prefer to stay within what I know, which is Eastern North Carolina and Onslow County, the surrounding areas, because I'm the most familiar with that.
Right, exactly.
And you're constantly seeing all the changes that are happening, the new DOT, the Department of Transportation things that are consistently
They had a big thing
happening
over there that they showed DOT with some of our people were up in Raleigh the other day.
Yeah.
They're real excited about some of the things going on with DOT.
Right.
Cool. Love it.
What would you
Work-life
say-
balance.
What would you say what's one of the other things that we have on the list? How about saying no?
Ooh.
I think saying no is a big one. That is a big one for myself. And I feel like I need to say that every day, actually.
There's nothing wrong with saying no.
And I'm always nervous to say no. I just am.
I actually listened to a really cool little thing that I subscribe to. It's called the Darren Hardy, the guy I met at a Remax convention, changed my life, actually. I'll tell that story someday. Not today because it's not the day for it. But he talked a little bit about saying no. And I don't want to disrespect his Darren Daly by getting it wrong, but it really boiled down to what are you going to accept in your calendar?
Mm-hmm.
And if you won't drop everything to go and do this particular thing, why did you let it get put in your calendar for next week?
Yeah.
So it was, I'm not describing it very good, but the whole point is saying no is okay. Now you can't say no to everything, but you should say no to many things.
No, but I think I need to make it a point as well. And I'm sure, and I'm hoping that there's other listeners out there in the audience that are thinking the same thing, that I'm a people pleaser. I like to make sure that everyone feels happy, everyone's good. But at the same time, I also feel like it's okay to say no if you have a lot on your plate and you just can't make it work, to give them other recommendations or offer other recommendations.
Dude, it's way more professional of a professional to be honest and say, listen, I don't have the bandwidth for that right now. I've got an opportunity right now to do so much stuff, like, because being in real estate for 20 years, I've got almost 20 years. I've got all these opportunities just kind of start presenting themselves to you, right? And you want to do everything. But a wise man told me that you can't kiss every pretty girl you meet. And in its simplest forms, what that means is don't take on too much to make your bandwidth short, and then you don't do a good job.
Yeah.
And that's one of the major obstacles I've had of running a company for the last 10, 15 years. I've been running a real estate firm. Is you have so much going on, and a guy described it to me as like balancing plates. Mm-hmm. You're balancing all these plates, and you're doing all this other stuff, and you're doing this is what you do decent, and then you never really do the stuff really, really good. Well, so you have to narrow your focus. You have to narrow your focus. Yes, you could. You could. You
balance
already do.
Plates and
you already
juggle.
Do. I saw you in here doing it this morning when you were getting this whole place set up, dude. Todd just sets the place up, man. He gets it all set up. I just come in here and talk shit. But it's not shit, man. It's 20 years of experience and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and the balance that you cause. And let me tell you something. I missed very few of my children's basketball games growing up. Very few. Some of them because they were away games and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I really haven't missed a whole lot of stuff in my family's life.
And that's a good thing. I think that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, is being able to set that personal life boundary that, hey, I'm not going to miss these games. I'm going to be a part of my son's lives and make sure that I'm there, that I'm present. Because that's a big thing too. Like, I want to be able to have a family one day and be able to be there for my children or for my child and just be able to.
You'd be a great pops.
Thank you.
You're very temperamental, I think. I mean, I don't know, you're like super personal, but you seem like you have a good, even temperament.
Oh, it's all about where you come from and
I'm
how
up
you were
and down.
brought up.
Listen, I'm up and down. I'm on the cusp. So I'm up and down. And so I could be fired up one day, sad the next. Just is who I am. And I like it. And somewhere in between all that is balance.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you have to reprioritize too. You have to really sit down and go, okay, what's really the most important thing to me in my life right now?
There are some people that have it down to a T, like super organized, got their calendar set up. Some have assistants so they can have all of that stuff already pre-planned for them so they can go out and spend that time. That's my biggest thing. I think I work so damn hard on everything. I take one vacation a year.
Right.
And that's typically my anniversary vacation in the middle of June.
Nice.
Other than that, if I do take a vacation, it's what I like to call.
Did you go to Hawaii last year?
I did go to Hawaii.
That was cool.
I'd
Did you
go
like
back
it?
in a heartbeat.
You love Hawaii?
Yes,
I've been to Hawaii one time.
Waikiki was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, but I told myself if we go again, we want to go to the Big Island. Because I
That's
just want to be able to
Oahu,
experience
right?
all of it.
Oahu is the Big Island?
Yeah.
Nice. Hawaii's pretty cool. I went there one time.
Just one time?
Just one time.
I'm going to go again.
I want a free trip. I'm not going. You know what? I don't like to fly west.
Why?
Because you lose the time. You lose the days.
But
and the
you
travel
get it
there and
back when you come back.
Do you really? You're like readjusting.
But if I'm on
stuff.
vacation, I don't give a shit about time.
I'm going to be spending some time in the UK this year. It's good. You want to talk about work-life balance? You know, my son is getting ready to go play soccer, man, over in England. And when he graduates, we're going to go over there and check it out. And you know why we're going to
have to do a Zoom podcast while we're there.
We will.
Or you could just pay for me to go with you.
It's going to be cool though. But listen, the reason that we were able to do that, right, is because of the years I put into the real estate business.
Yeah.
What positioned my family in a position to be able to do the things they want to do and pursue the things they want to do. And that leads me to a really big point. All of this right here that we have on this piece of paper, it can all be, you can prevent the burnout. And here's how you prevent the burnout. You prevent the burnout by identifying your why and why you do what you do. Why do you get up early? Why do you go to the gym? And for my why, I think it's always been my family, my kids.
Yeah, I think,
and I've let them down sometimes. Like this is just life, right? You're not gonna do everything right, but the why is the most important thing, and we got to embrace it. And there's most people walking around the world don't have a why.
Yeah, I think for me, my why is I have two whys. I just wanted someone to not make the same mistakes I did coming into the business, and that's why I got into real estate. But my why of what I do is because I want to create a better life for myself than what I had growing up. Not that I would take any of it back, but I do want to have.
What did Rena do?
She didn't do anything. It wasn't her fault.
I know that.
It was just the trials and tribulations that came with it.
It's progress, right?
Yeah.
It's progress. We're supposed to progress,
But I want to be able to create a life of where there's no want or there's no need. I'm just comfortable. I don't want to be rich, but I also don't want to be poor. I want to live comfortably and happy, carry on my life, be humble.
And look, dude, rich is a state of mind. Rich has nothing to do with money. I think wealthiness is money, but rich is a state of mind.
Yeah, but you got some out there, their mindsets are just super extreme. And I don't shame them for that. Everyone's got their own reason for doing what they do.
Again, it's reevaluation, reorganizing your priorities, and just trying to get yourself back on track if you get off track.
But I also think too, that's a reason why they're where they're at. They set boundaries.
Money can't buy happiness, dude. Money cannot buy happiness all the money in the world. But let me tell you something. No, it can't. And you know it. And you know it. You know I'm right. You can't argue with me on this point. Trust me. I've had money, dude. And money does not buy happiness. Happiness is within.
But money brings memories.
But money is required to fund your life.
That is true.
And have a life. I have two brothers. I love them so much. But they're broke ass busted. They don't have work-life balance.
You want to say that on the podcast?
I don't care. They're not listening anyway. They're not listening. They're doing something else, something that's probably non-dollar producing.
Well,
and we got to have those dollar producing activities in our life, and we have to have those wholesome activities. And look, I say this at Remax all the time, and I'd get it backwards, but I believe that the best way that you can balance your life is through God or your higher power, whatever that is, family and job. If you can,
I can agree with that.
Thank you. You agree with me today on something?
Do.
Yes. And if you, and I know you do, if you can organize your life into those things, then everything else is going to take care of themselves. Everything.
My mom usually always tells me to just give it to God and he'll take it from there.
And we're not good at that, right? Because we get our own plans and
I get a little distracted. So
I
I forget
do
to give
too.
it to him.
I do too, man. I wish I could give him more, but it's just, because he gives me so much.
Yeah. But I will say, I mean, I feel like this is
It's turning into a sermon.
But this is a good episode, though. I feel
Hell
like
yeah, it is. This is the best. I love it. I knew this would be great.
It's something that I'm so guilty of not doing that I need to start implementing. And I'm exposing myself on that. But I feel like I'm exposing myself in that that I don't set healthy boundaries for my life.
I don't know.
Whether it's in work or personal. And I want to put that out there because I do feel that we do have listeners that are going to follow us that are going to be in that same position. They always want to put other people before themselves, put themselves on the back burner. And then I think that's why we hit depression and we get burnt out on things. And then you become that blah mood all the time.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. And I wanted to say this to the audience, share with us your whys and share with us some of your work-life balance secrets. We'd love to hear from you. I want to know what some of you guys do because we can all help each other in this field. And this is something that we have to continually evaluate and make a top priority.
I love priority.
Priority and seniority. And I'm getting to be a senior. Like I'm no spring chicken, man. I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
And we don't know when it's going to be our last breath. And we don't know, at some point you have to start winding down something too. I can't do what I could do when I was 28 when I'm 48. Actually, I'm doing it better now. But I'm not going to be able to do it when I'm 68. And 68, 48, 28 to 48 happened really quick.
I don't know. You keep going to the gym. You may be able to do what you're doing now at 68.
Well, thank you, sir.
I've seen some super, super healthy older people.
And that's my goal, right? Like that's my goal is to continue to be able to operate at a high level, a high healthy level though.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy.
Same. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, hey, I think that's a good episode. I feel like we covered some good ground.
I feel like we haven't talked long. Like, how long have we been going?
We're sitting at 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone is listening to this, definitely leave us some feedback. Leave us some comments. Tell us if you are setting healthy boundaries in your personal life, your work life, what those boundaries are, because maybe someone could learn something from what you do as well. And I got to start setting it for myself. That's really all I can say on that part.
Start today. And if you recognize that, that's the first step, right?
Yep.
And really, you know what the first step is?
What?
The thought.
That's true.
The very first step is the thought. And then you got to put that down on paper, right?
Why on paper?
Because it's not real if it's just
you need it to be like an affirmation in a sense.
You put it down on paper and then you come up with a plan.
Yeah.
And then you execute your plan. And then the thing about plans is sometimes they got to be reevaluated and, kind of rethought. But if you continually do that, like that's part of what we do here, right? Like that's a continual process. So boundaries and balance, mastering work-life harmony in real estate is a continual effort, and it's continuous. In the military, remember what they used to say? Chow is continuous.
Oh,
This thing is continuous, man. It's a continuous journey, and we're all on it. I'm just thankful to be here on Earth, and I'm thankful that we have our health. I'm thankful that we have been blessed with some wealth.
Yep.
And I'm thankful that I have been blessed with some abilities.
I think that,
and I love and I'm blessed to be living in the United States of America.
There you go. But I will say to all of our viewers and listeners out there, no, I'm not.
Just the way you said, no, you're not. You're like,
no. All right. If you've enjoyed listening to us today, stay tuned. Like I said, this is our 10th episode. Stay tuned for more. Make sure that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. But follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for the feedback, too. And thank you for listening and tuning in. We have a lot to say, and we're going to keep saying it.
And thank you, Ray.
For what?
For being you.
Really? Thank you for being you.
All right, everybody.
All right, we're out. See ya.